Wade's one of those builders that doesn't believe in rain days.
Issued a red severe weather warning for those strong winds.
I heard that before today you didn't even own wet weather gears.
Nah, I had to buy these especially for this job.
I'm one of those builders that believes on charging ahead no matter what.
And it's very wet.
And if it gets stuck?
It won't get stuck.
Wade, we're about to get concrete.
Woo!
I live in the dream, mate.
Hey, I'm Josh, a builder here in New Zealand, and let me introduce you to that build up there. Previously, we went unconditional on the site, we locked in a design, and we started setting up profiles on site. And now that we've got profiles on site, we can start our first major building task, the block wall. Coming up, we'll show you the plans in detail. I'll talk about why we're starting on this side of the section first, and stick around to the end to see us battle one of Wellington's strongest storms in over a decade as we pour concrete at the same time. But first, let's check in with site. You guys probably know by now, I love a sloping site. I've had a fair few of them over the years and learned a few things the hard way. So this time round, I've taken everything I've learned from all of the sites and decided access, build platform, clean site, and then we're gonna do one little phase at a time following an epic earthworks and landscaping plan. And to bring an epic plan to life, you need an epic operator. So this is Craig. Craig's the man. He's the guy who actually saved us on the other house on the hill down the other end of Upper Hart and sorted out the driveway once and for all so we could get trucks up there. Thank you for that.
No worries.
Craig's another Upper Hart local. Most of our team are. And day in, day out, he's moving earth for a bunch of builders like me. So what's your plan of attack?
I've already marked the pink marks at the back of the wall. We're going to drop that today, and all of that dirt is going down there.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
So those pink marks, can you see the pink marks I've done?
Yeah.
Your metre plus 300, up, plus 300, all the way along.
Yeah.
We're going to get that to ground zero.
What makes Craig so good? Other than the fact that he's confident, calm under pressure, and never stops moving, the thing I've noticed the most is that he moves his digger bucket the way an artist would move a paintbrush, or a baker would ice a cake. The cuts are so neat and so precise. He is an artist and his paintbrush is his digger. And that's what you need on a technical site like this. You need precision. You also need to take it one step at a time. This is going to be a huge plan with a bunch of different zones. Right here we're moving earth. You can see we're going to start cutting into the bank. This is actually going to be the riskiest, trickiest part of the build. So we use retaining walls to hold up earth so that we have a flat surface here. The problem is we have to take out all of this earth here to work behind it. Not only does the footing go in under the slab this way, it goes 700 mils into the bank this way. That means we've got a 2.5 meter wide trench, 500 mils deep, that we're going to drop these insanely huge cages in, and that all gets filled with concrete, and then we can start building up. This is not the time where we need a huge storm to come through. So let's have a look at the plans for that block wall. But before I do that for you, can you do one thing for me? Go ahead, click subscribe. It really does help us out. So you can see here on the earthworks plan, all the red shaded zones are getting cut. And you can see on section 4 here, why we are cutting. The dotted line is the existing bank on the hill there. And to get this garage as close as possible to the boundary, whilst still maintaining a walkway around the whole thing, that was really important to me, and making sure it's wide enough to drive a mini digger down if I ever need to. So we need to build this block wall as close to the boundary as possible, which is not impossible, but building something so big, so close to the boundary raises a bunch of logistical questions. You can see here the engineering detail that the amazing man Gerald from Cresco, got to meet him yesterday, put together for us. Whenever we're drawing engineer details, it's a combination of the geotech's findings about the soil type and the structural engineer, Gerald, taking all those figures in, also calculating out how much earth we're holding, and then runs all those things through a calculator to basically work out how much steel we need. Then you can see through his calculations, he's given us this drawing on page S19 of our engineer drawings. You can see the footing in the bottom here with the cages. The whole idea of a footing is that it gives you a stable base to prevent your wall from tipping over. You can see the starter bars coming up. You can see there's a bunch of details on here about how close the starter bars should be, 200 centers. Then we have to overlap to do our next rise and how much those bars need to overlap each other, even down to the angle of earth we're allowed to retain 15 degrees once we've built it. Because this was such a big job, we decided to go for pre-bent and prefabricated steel, which meant that these cages got made off-site, delivered in one complete piece, and we were able to drop them in the hole, but more on that later. So why did I decide to do the block wall first? First up, in my experience, you just have to pick a starting point. And whether you start here and work up or whether you start here and work down, depends on a number of things. For me, I wanted to do this cut here and get rid of that earth first while there was no slabs or foundations in the way. In my mind, it was the riskiest, most challenging part of the site. I wanted to use all of our energy to get that part of the job done and dusted. Not only that, but I needed a space to put dirt back to. So we got to take all this earth out and then we build this wall, but then I got to put all the dirt back behind it. I didn't want to end up doing all the work down the bottom and get rid of all the fill and then not have enough to fill in this. It's like one of those jigsaw puzzles where you don't actually have a start and an end. You actually just have to pick a piece of the puzzle, put it in, and let the other pieces of the puzzle around it click together. For a phase like this, you would squish everything down to the most concise period, have a meeting with every contractor on site, make sure everyone knows the plan, and then we push the go button. And for us, the go button was starting to cut into the bank. And the moment we start making that cut, the clock is ticking. And now I want to put the footing in and the blocks up and the bank back together as quickly as possible.
Today's effort is foundation prep. So we're digging into country, which means we're trying to dig it as tidy as possible so as to avoid prep.
So the plan was going well. Monday, Tuesday, we did the big cut and we were ready for steel delivery Wednesday. And this is when the plan all started to come a little bit undone.
Today we've got all the big steel cages coming for the footings for the block walls. So it's just working through getting them into place, ready for the concrete pour.
So pre-made cages started getting dropped in. So far, so good.
Occasionally we have some hassles on site, so they've sent a truck that's a bit small, it can't reach right out to the corner to get the like a 1 ton cage that's pre-made in, so we're having to drop it on the ground.
But fortunately, Craig was on site and came to the rescue with his digger and his chain and started placing the cages for us. The thing I've learned on sloping sites is that slips and erosion is inevitable. The worst time to have a slip though is when you haven't poured any concrete. If you have a hard surface and the bank starts to slip, you can scrape back to your hard surface and you can keep building. If you haven't poured concrete yet, getting a slip or an eroding hill out of all that steel that you've purposely and meticulously placed is one of the most painful, frustrating, depressing jobs. Thursday morning, rock up. Half our bank has crumbled into our footings, on top of our cages. Yay, 3 steps back. Water's pooling in the footing. It's just not going to plan. But once again, Craig and Wade saved the day. And because we'd done pre-bent steel, we were able to lift an entire 6-meter cage out. We're able to pull it back onto flat ground. We're able to clean it off. We were able to get in the footing and push all the dirt away. And we came up with plan B. Let's just pour whatever we can, bare minimum the bottom level. Wake up Friday morning, it's raining even harder.
Rare threat to life wind warning, the highest warning possible, with residents being urged to take the risk seriously.
Awesome.
As you can see, the speed is huge, the wind is blasting in here.
The winds are really intense right now. Met Service issued a severe wind warning and that remains in place until early Friday morning.
Yo,
That was a wild couple of nights of weather.
I know, man, it's so hard to sleep at night. The crumbling to that bank, like, definitely elevates the heart rate.
Do you know that when you do your window wipers, you can just turn them on?
Oh, no,
You don't
you've
have
got
to do it. It's
The
not a manual thing, it's an automatic thing.
The preset settings are not good. Who else? Comment below. Do you hate the window wiper preset settings? They're just not quite right. See this one?
Just do the mid-range.
So concrete trucks on the way. First pour, we're putting about 13 cubes in the ground. First footing, first actual foundation.
It's a perfect day for laying concrete.
It's glorious. The beautiful thing is that the footing gets a topping slab over it. So later on, when everything's perfect and fine, we can do a 100mm layer later, which is actually quite genius. It lets us crack on now, build on top of it, and then once we've done all the building, then we take all that away.
Make it pretty later.
Yeah, a bit nervous. It's like, it will be awesome. It'll definitely be a champagne moment. We have a lot of champagne moments.
Yeah, there's always a champagne moment. Do you have some in the fridge?
Yeah. Time and time again, I'm learning the hard way. Take it in bite-sized chunks. And I was so proud of my team. No one was made to work in the rain. Everyone chose to be there because they knew what was at stake and they wanted to get this done just as much as me.
Tell me what's going on and I'll figure it out. I'll be quite happy. You back as far as it can. It'll shoot. The rest of it will roll into position. And I'll be there with the digger. Concrete truck here.
Hey man, how you doing? Thanks for coming out in the rain. No worries. Really appreciate it. So we made a team decision to crack on and pour at lunchtime. This gave us a little bit of breathing room to do the final tickle ups on the starter bars coming up into the next rise. Wade, we're about to get concrete.
Woo!
Make
Make everyone's day.
Thank you so much. This is such a crucial part that needed to get done.
It's alright, it's been a big battle, but we won.
The rain got harder and harder and harder, but the team was adamant, we are going to pour today.
Woo!
First truck arrives on site and is able to back up as far as it can. Thank goodness Craig had put a solid layer of base course the entire way along. We got a concrete truck, Wade.
We do.
It's a bit scary.
It's success.
Do you think it's going to leave the site?
It's success.
We were able to back the truck right up, get the chute out, and we were going to start pouring. It's all on. Once again, Craig saved the day with his digger bucket, moving at those last few meters from the chute to the back of the wall so precisely as if he was an artist. Obviously, super critical day, real important that I was there on site, in amongst the action, making sure that everything is moving. We even had a guy at the top of the driveway's job was solely just to back the trucks in and wash the wheels off as they leave. This is Lyndon. Hey Lyndon.
Hey!
He's the man. Right now his job today is he's driving the trucks in, guiding them, and then he's pulling them out, and the truck stops here and we spray it down because it's so important to look after your neighbours and the environment. And this job here is almost more important than what the boys are doing down there. Because that's the thing about a building site is we're on the property building, but there's 10 tradie vehicles and 5 concrete trucks and a whole lot of action that's affecting all our neighbours. And so it's super important that you're aware of not just what's happening on site, but what's happening out on the road. What's going on, babe?
It's very muddy and it's very wet.
It's also very serene if we look out at this amazing view.
It's actually quite cool to see the mist roll in.
Yo, Wade, I heard that before today you didn't even own wet weather gears.
Nah, I had to buy these especially for this job.
Wade's one of those builders that doesn't believe in rain days.
No.
I'm one of those builders that believes on charging ahead no matter what. Check out this slip amongst others, but it's not all bad news. We've had our first concrete truck in and the boys are down there pouring the lower footing. That means it can go hard over the weekend, and if the bank continues to crumble, we now have a flat, clean surface to work on. The footing is going to have a topping slab on it later, so I've got 100 mils of tolerance. We've had multiple visits from the engineers this week. We've got everything signed off and it is such a sweet milestone. Do you know what's ironic? Is this reminds me of that day on my first site. It's a wet Monday morning here on site, and what the heck am I doing in wet weather gears? I absolutely hated working in the rain when I was an apprentice. It seems that when I kick off a site, it coincides with a rainstorm.
I think you can text them back and say, everything's under control.
Hey.
Hi.
So 2 trucks down.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I actually have like a whole new appreciation for concrete.
Are you so glad that I told you to wear a jacket?
Yeah, and a beanie.
Yeah.
But it actually it makes me actually want to be here. Otherwise I'd be wet and cold.
Yeah, so that's a trick tip for builders, eh? If you want pretty girls on site.
For builders. Bring them snowboarding jackets.
Babe, we did it. First concrete down.
Concrete in.
Footing complete. How do you feel?
I feel amazing.
It's pretty crazy, eh?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like, it's actually happening.
It's happened. We did something.
I know. Now it's a building site.
Yeah, we followed part of the plan.
Yeah, and we have a build.
So cool.
Yo, sign up squad, you've made it to the end of another video. We've been listening to the comments and we're going to make these episodes aim for the 20-minute mark. Thanks for all your other awesome feedback as well. This job last week was one of the most hectic days, and I was so relieved when that first bit of concrete went down. From this point onwards in my mind, it's now a building site with a flat, hard surface. Again, a classic story of 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, feeling like I've bitten off more than I can chew, stopping, taking a breath, regrouping, going 5 more steps forward. Getting this footing poured was such a crucial job for us, both physically on site, but mentally. The mental win helped us regroup and formulate a new plan moving forward. It was a game changer when we axed the plan to pour all 40 meters in one go and we broke it into pieces. Going forward, that's how I'm going to approach the rest of the build. Small bite-sized pieces, slow and steady wins the race. So again, whatever you're taking on, your own build, launching your business, changing something huge in your life, it's not one move once, it's chunk it down into little pieces. What's the smallest, most immediate action I can take in that direction? And then another one, and another one, and another one. Even if you get knocked back from here and you're here, you're still that much further ahead than when you started. That's been my experience both in business and building, and I'm a bit of a sucker. I'm going to keep showing up for more, and I hope you keep showing up for more of these videos. Obviously, you're going to subscribe to me here. If you haven't, go and watch this video here of last week. And next week, we're going on a little road trip to Complete Rio to see our pre-bent, prefabricated steel getting put together.